The Tampa Bay Buccaneers over-under is set at 6.5 wins. What do we think?
Under.
Under. I'm taking the under as well.
Baker Mayfield's ass.
Over. Because of one man. And this man's name is Baker Mayfield.
They won 8 games with Tom Brady.
With the weapons that they have, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Baker Mayfield. He's going to revitalize his career.
Who's their third receiver?
Take him to 8 games. I don't know.
It's Russell
Rashad Perriman.
It's Russell Gage.
Russell Gage, who
Scotty Miller
was solid for like a few games in Atlanta. No.
He's solid.
Okay. I've always been of the impression that Baker got the short end of the stick in Cleveland, and the season where he was really bad, I'm not making an excuse for him. He was bad in his last season. He was hurt at the same time, and they kept throwing him out there. His shoulder was clearly fucked up.
Oh, it was ruined.
Needed surgery. Was he cut from the Panthers or traded from the Panthers? He was cut. He was cut from the Panthers. Played solid with the Rams. I think he has a chance to have a really solid season this year. A lot better than he had been.
Define really solid.
Yo, do you pay for PFF, Matt?
I do not. I'm thinking about
I
it
think I
though.
might buy that.
I'm
Fine,
so
really
close to doing
solid.
it. Just like playing all 7. Don't say playing all 17 games
Why?
because he has
Who else are they
fucking
gonna
Kyle
have?
Trask behind him.
They'll go over their line. That's a victory in itself. If you could have Baker Mayfield do that for you,
I don't
That's a
know,
win.
man. Winning 8 games in a season isn't a fucking
7.
or 7. Winning 7 games is not a success. I don't care if it's Baker Mayfield there.
would.
Like I don't
for
care.
Baker it is.
Baker is very, very, very good. Like very good.
I just don't think he's the worst quarterback in the
exactly.
league.
So then he should win more than 7 games then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so how many games do you think he's gonna win?
19.
Over 6.5.
All right, fair enough.
What was our bet?
Our bet was that the Bucks would go under.
Oh, okay.
The Bucks
So
would go
50
under.
bucks.
Yeah, $50 on the fact that the Bucks would go under 6.5 wins because
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield fucking sucks.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
The rest of this team, though, as I said before, the rest of this team is loaded. Like it's really good. The offensive line is a little shaky, but that was only because of injuries last season. Outside of that, you get Tristan Wirfs back healthy. You get Ryan. What in the world was that? You get Ryan Jensen back healthy. You added a couple guys. Look, I think this team's going to be solid. I think it'll be solid outside of Baker Mayfield. I think this defense will be top 10. I think the weapons will be the weapons, but like. Baker Mayfield sucks, dude. I'm sorry to tell you. And honestly,
Yeah,
it
we'll
probably
see.
was because of the injuries. I'll give you that because I was a Baker guy. And I honestly thought that he did get the shit end of the stick. But also given that fact, he's not who he was prior to that. Those injuries did mess him up, regardless of that.
I think given another year of being able to work on it and another year to heal will be good.
I guess. I don't know.
Did you do the intro for this?
Oh, yeah. NFC South over-unders.
Nice.
Is that wrong or right? Was that
NFC.
I don't like the wording of that.
Yeah.
Predicting the NFC South over-unders. No. I don't like over-unders.
Over win totals. Predicting the over win totals for the NFC South.
predicting the over-under win totals for the NFC South?
Solid.
We already did the Bucks, obviously. So
Yes. All right.
next up.
It's time I bid you all a farewell.
Oh man.
I thought you said 115.
I said 1 to 115. I have to leave.
Yeah, we'll give it to 115 then.
It's
I
not
can't.
115.
Yeah, I know. I can't. I have to leave. 115 was pushing it.
Bruv, just finish the segment.
I literally.
I had to
leave.
All right,
Yeah,
goodbye.
You keep talking
You
about it.
contribute nothing anyway.
Thank you. Good riddance.
Good riddance.
You don't fucking throw the
Goodbye
F-
and good riddance.
I didn't.
Goodbye and good riddance.
Goodbye and good riddance.
Goodbye and verdance.
I still see your shadow in my room.
Shut up,
In,
Dean.
In Chris's room.
Shut up, Dean. All right, next up is the Carolina Panthers with the over-under win total of 7.5. What do we think?
Under.
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 I'm gonna be the only one. I'm taking the Panthers over. I think Bryce Young steps in and is immediately at bare minimum an average quarterback in the NFL. At bare minimum, Bryce Young will be an average quarterback from the day that he steps on a football field.
I just don't see it,
bro.
I don't know. I personally prefer CJ Stroud going into the draft. I think Bryce Young has more talent, but I think the size thing matters. I think it'll definitely play a part in his transition to the NFL. All these offensive linemen just being bigger, the defensive linemen being bigger,
See,
stronger,
but here's
faster.
the thing, bro. He's playing at the best program in all of college football, arguably, against the best programs in all of college football.
That's pretty cool.
But at the same
W.
time,
Yeah.
those
YouTube is lowering requirement in 2023.
Yo,
mm,
let's go.
we
Get
don't
us
need
there.
we don't need lower standards.
Get it?
boys.
No,
Come
no,
on.
no. Get us there. Get us there.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I think the size transition is going to matter for him in particular.
I get that, but at the same time, I feel like if you've played at the biggest colleges and against the biggest colleges, you're playing against NFL level size already. Like you've already experienced the fact that you're playing against.
But
these
nothing's
6
NFL
foot-
level size until you're in the NFL.
I guess the speed is different. I'll say the speed is different, but there's plenty of guys on all of these teams that are 6'5", 6'6". They might not be as athletic or as talented, but they are all going to be massive human beings.
Yeah.
But
I just don't think he's going to be above average or average off the bat.
that's
Yeah, I
fair.
think he's going to struggle his first few weeks like any rookie quarterback. I don't think he's going to come in immediately and set the league on fire.
Again, I don't think he's going to set the league on fire either. I just think an average quarterback from the second he hits
Yeah,
that football.
I think they're in a good spot.
I agree.
I think they're in a really good spot. I don't think this is the year for them.
I think they win 8 games.
They
I'm
don't
not
have-
saying they go crazy.
They
I
don't
just think
have
they win 8
receiving
games.
weapons. They have Adam Thielen, who's old as fuck.
And Terrence Marshall.
DJ Chark, Terrace Marshall.
I like DJ Chark.
DJ Chark's always questionable
Love
too.
DJ Chark.
DJ Chark is always questionable.
Breakout
They added
season.
Hayden Hurst, I'm pretty sure, too. That's another big. It's not big, but like at the same time, they also have a great offensive line, which makes a massive difference. And this defense is legit. This defense is very legit. Led by Brian Burns and J.C. Horn, 2 of the best at their positions in the entire league. You were saying top 10 corners before. J.C. Horn's arguably top 5.
Yeah, I love JC Horn.
So, look, this is a solid squad. I think this is a very good team, and they have a bunch of young players that are going to make a big difference for them. So, I don't know. I like the Panthers this season. I like them a lot. But
Still going under.
fair enough. All right, the next team, the New Orleans Saints, over under 9.5 wins. What do we got?
The Saints, I have the over because someone has to do it in the division.
I kind of have the same reason. It sucks. It's a cop out, but I'm taking the over on the Saints.
I'm taking the under. I think their defense is mid at best.
Their defense is mid at best, but they have easily the best quarterback in the division. Easily.
Taking the under.
And
too.
I think it's not even close.
I agree. They definitely have the best quarterback in the
That's
division.
not saying much with this division, though.
It's
That's the
not, but
thing.
it makes a difference, and it makes a few games difference.
That's pretty good.
I don't when I think that the rest of your roster is not good. Like, not good.
Their offense isn't bad.
It's not bad. It's
What's
not
happening with Alvin
good.
Kamara? That's
He's
one
in
question.
training camp.
The offensive line is shaky at best. Obviously, yes, they have solid weapons, but outside of Olave and Michael Thomas, who we know Michael Thomas is going to get hurt anyway,
That's not
it's
true.
pretty much
How do
a
you
lot,
know that?
bro.
It's
Come
all the
on.
scripts.
When was the last time Michael Thomas played more
A
than
long
4
fucking time,
games?
but I'm not
in a
going to sit
season?
here and predict that he gets hurt again.
I hate to do that, but it's fact. The
It's-
last time
but
that I
it's-
saw
it's-
Michael Thomas
it's
play a full
quite
season was
literally not
2019. It's
fact.
4 years ago.
Slant boy.
Slant
4
boy.
years
I
ago.
miss Slant Boy.
I do too.
I miss
He was
him.
one of the best receivers we've ever seen.
They have Taysom Hill.
That season was fucking unbelievable.
They have Taysom Hill.
Oh my God, please stop.
they
please
have
stop.
they have Jamal Williams.
That defense is going to be atrocious. They have Jamal Williams and they have Kendra Miller. I like both of them, but that defense is going to be bad. Like it has two really good players. Cam Jordan started regressing last season.
And Lattimore, who also
Lattimore
regressed.
is solid. Demario Davis is probably the best player on that defense right now, and he's like 33 or 34 years old.
He's old as fuck.
So a lot of the guys that they have, great names, amazing names, but no production.
Honey Badger.
Little production recently. Like, what have you done for me now? That's what the NFL
Yeah,
is.
I just think they're just better than the rest of the division, just straight up.
I don't know. I could see the Panthers.
And I know a
being better
team
than them,
you guys
to
are
be
going to
honest.
argue that would be ahead of them, but I don't agree.
They are perfect transition because the next team is the Atlanta Falcons, and their over totals is 8.5 wins. I'm absolutely smashing the over. I think they dominate this division this season.
I'm
in my personal opinion.
going under, and it's strictly off. And I know what you guys are going to say about the running game. The running game is fucking great. You add a guy like Bijan Robinson, who was top running back in the league potential. I understand. You have Tyler Algier still. He had a great year. He's only going to add to that, mix. I just don't think Desmond Ritter's good. And I know he doesn't have to be particularly above average. He could be average and they can have success. I just think he's going to be below average. I know he didn't throw a pick in his 4 games. I just don't see him replicating anything close to that.
I don't think you need to replicate that exactly. I'm just saying don't turn the ball over a bunch, because I genuinely think, and this is one of those seasons where I said this prior, but I'll say it again. They're replicating a lot of what I saw out of the Jaguars a few years ago, how they paid pretty much for a defense now. And they've paid a big price for said defense, but at the same time, they added a ton of quality pieces to this defense, which they needed. They traded for Jeff Okudah. They signed a bunch of guys around that defensive line. One being Calais Campbell, who's a vet that's going to come in and immediately take some pressure off Grady Jarrett. There's going to be a solid rotation on this defensive line, which is something that they haven't had.
I just think they're a year away. I think they still need a quarterback. I don't think Desmond Ritter is the answer. I think for them to be a legit playoff team contender, I think either Desmond Ritter needs to take a step that I don't see happening, or they need to go into next offseason looking for a quarterback. Because this team, outside of quarterback, I think is ready to win. I think they need another receiver and call it another quarterback.
They arguably have the best offensive line in football too.
Right.
That helps.
So
I have pieces.
I think that they don't need to be a contender. Legit, they just have to win a division that sucks. Their schedule, just like all these teams, their schedule is so easy.
Yeah.
And I just think out of all these teams, because these teams play each other, both conferences we're talking about, they play games against each other. It's just, I think other than the Jaguars, the Falcons are just the best team. Out of the 8 teams we've talked about, they're the best team.
No, I agree.
And I
can
think
see them winning.
And even if Desmond Ritter struggles, they just have the scheme and the pieces in that scheme on both sides of the ball to be able to win games. They have a running scheme that's going to work and that was the number 1 rushing offense in all of football last year and is only going to get better. You have the best O-line in the NFL, and you've arguably a top 5 defense in the NFL that got extremely better. You added the best free safety in the game in Jesse Bates. You added a bunch of beef to your O-line. You have some young players who are still getting better. You have a top 5 corner in AJ Terrell.
We could be talking about like a top 10 defense now.
I think they're a top 5 defense.
Immediate flip of the
I think
switch.
they're definitely a top 10 defense.
There's so much talent on this defense now. And honestly, probably the most versatile safety duo in the entire league. And then you have a third safety in Jalen Hawkins, who is arguably one of the best third safeties you could have in the entire league. I mean, overall, there's just so much. There's so much that I look at. It's a complete team, in my opinion.
I think a team like this in the division and schedule that they've been handed, I think they're honestly locks to have a top 5 rushing attack and a top 10 defense. And I think they have more upside than that. I think they're gonna have.
I think they'll have the best rushing attack.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have the best rushing attack and a top 5 defense. So like that formula is enough to get you over 8.5 wins.
Yeah, I have them winning 11 games.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get to 10, 11.
I have them winning 11 games. And I get your concerns with Desmond Ritter, but I will say one thing. I think Desmond Ritter will have a very Daniel Jones from last year-esque type season, if not a little bit better, in my opinion, in terms of just being good at not making mistakes and not messing up. And he has one of the best offensive lines in football. That makes a massive difference.
I hope he does, bro. I like the Falcons team. I like them a lot.
So I don't know.
I think
like
they just have they have a lot of young talent that
So
is
much.
in line to make breakouts. You've Drake London, you expect
Kyle
him to take a second-year jump. Kyle Pitts, you just have to expect him to be better than last year. Then you go to the defensive side of the ball. You have my guy Arnold Ebiketie.
Well, that's the guy,
It's like-
Kyle Pitts, that can transform this offense.
Bro, they
He's
have
so
to use
versatile.
him right.
Yeah.
Arthur
Yeah.
Smith has to put this man out wide and use him like he's a goddamn wide receiver because that's what he is. He's a 6'6" wide receiver. That's 250 pounds.
Yeah.
Like,
It's insane.
what are we doing? He was like, we forget that this dude came out and was looked at as a prospect as arguably going to be the greatest tight end to ever play football. Like, greatest receiving tight end to ever play football.
He was like the Anthony Richardson of tight ends.
Right.
He had the drawing.
Bro,
Drawing.
like it's not fair what he has God-gifted talent and stuff that you don't see out of a guy at that size.
Yeah.
So please use the guy the way he's supposed to be
He
used.
looks like me out there.
You got more production.
Than me?
No, you.
No, he
You
has
got-
more production than last season Kyle Pitts probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my 9 catches.
Hey, it's pretty good. It's more
They all came on one drive.
Literally,
Yes.